Beyond the Teaching Nursing Home Community Partnership of Learning and Care is an innovative teaching and learning project for students in the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Health Science, where nursing students, medical students, podiatric medicine students and social work students engage with older adults as part of the learning activities. This is an innovative teaching and learning approach, and it utilises community and consumer engagement as part of the teaching.
My experience of teaching and facilitating students in the clinical learning environment has shown that it really helps students to develop those communication skills, particularly when they're working with real people and in real situations. It also supports the students in their learning and also that transition of learning, so moving from that simulated education environment into the actual workplace.
I think one of the main advantages is they have peer-to-peer learning, and there's opportunities for them to examine each other's skills and to learn from each other and to really learn communication and teamwork.
I think also what it offers us is just a lot more time than we would get in a hospital or in the clinic to talk to them maybe about like their illnesses and what they feel is affecting them the most at the moment.
The big thing is looking at them when they're well. In the hospital we see the patients at their worst. We often feel quite despondent. I recall on our first turn in geriatrics, it was almost depressing to see how worn down our patients were, and to come here and see them at their very best, it gives us something to aim for. It's a reminder that primary care and good intervention does really make a huge difference.
One of the things that I think is really important is that the students' learning and our teaching actually has a positive impact on patients, and in this case on residents. And I think it's been really nicely shown here how the residents value being able to talk to the students and contribute to their learning and actually mould them so in the future they'll have good understanding of people and in particular of older people. So I think your examination was smooth, as you say, the order.
Yeah.
If you get the order right for examining, then present in that same order, and then you don't forget things.
Yeah,
so you can
definitely.
take it smoothly.
Better get some Panadeine Forte.
Okay, what I'll do, I'll go and find the registered nurse. We'll get some Panadeine Forte ready for you, or some Panadol, see what you're written up for.
Okay.
I'll give that to you, and then in half an hour or so I'll come back and we'll be able to do the wound dressing and change.
Yep, that's fine.
So it was a really good experience for me to know how to communicate, how to approach questions, and just having the real life, the simulation here and then going out into real life, it meant that we could apply that experience and that knowledge when we actually got into the hospital.
When I go to prac, I'm being thrown in the deep ocean for the first time, but with actual participants here, it's like I actually know how to swim.
I found the students are excellent and that you know exactly what's happening, and I think it's marvellous.
The older adults are residents of Bethany Jindana, and at Bethany Jindana there's 2 older adult hostels, residential aged care hostels, and also older adults living in over 55 independent living units. These older adults volunteer to participate with the students, and also there's a group of the older adults who have formed a reference group who've contributed to the development of the learning activities with the students. This is specifically focused on the older adults providing feedback, and as part of the development of the project and to assist students in their learning, residents provide feedback each week to nursing students about the activities.
So for many of the social work students, this environment provided the first opportunity to communicate with an older person other than perhaps their grandparents. The task for the students was to interview the residents using either a photo of their younger selves or a treasured item as kind of the starting point in a conversation.
The experience of interviewing Caitlin was very easy to engage with her with the photo, because she brought the photo of her mother's photo. I used that to start a conversation about her family and where they come from.
What I was primarily wanting the students to demonstrate was that they could interact with the resident on an emotional level, they could practice their reflective listening skills, and they could learn to quickly build some rapport with a client.
It's quite difficult to begin with to use your reflective listening skills, because you're used to conversations where you're bouncing off each other, and here you have to listen to the other person because you need to get their story,
and understand them. So you're concentrating so hard.
The students benefited through an interaction with a real person. This was something that they really were excited about and expressed some anxiety about, but in hindsight loved the opportunity to deal with someone other than another student in a role play situation.
It does get easier, yes. I think you become more comfortable with the person. There's more of a natural flow to it. They know that you're listening and using your minimal encouragers. They know that you're paying attention and they really want to know.
The residents seem to really enjoy the experience of talking to the students. And now that we've begun the process, there's an opportunity to build on that, and we certainly intend to do that.
It was actually quite interesting to be able to, I guess, to put into practice what we've learned in our unit about our interpersonal skills and reflective skills. It felt really natural as well. It didn't feel like an exercise. It flowed. What about you?
I really enjoyed it. It's good to be back in the community and away from the classroom and to meet real people that we'll be working with in the future. I think that's a real benefit for us.
To the international students, this was the first opportunity they had to deal with the broader Australian community and to begin to build those links and appreciation of the systems that happen here in Australia. So that was beneficial as well.
One of the other technologies we use within the clinical learning environment are the use of iPads, and students are able to access resources through the iPads such as eMIMS or JBI websites, and they're also able to access electronic health records, so they're able to look at patient notes through the iPads.
One of the key aspects of learning in this environment is that students work with each other and participate in peer-assisted learning and provide feedback to each other. The older adults who's undertaking the patient volunteer role also provides feedback to students, and they do this by providing verbal feedback as students deliver the care, but also they provide written feedback, and a specific feedback tool has been developed for older adults to provide feedback to students around the curative aspects of care delivery, and this includes the professional role, communication and respect for them as patients in a patient volunteer role.